Good morning. Good morning. Welcome to our Veterans Day, November 11th, 2015 dedication ceremony of our new Key West Living Memorial and Veterans Memorial Garden at Bayview Park. Please rise for the posting of the colors by Boy Scout Troop 578 of St. Mary's Knights of Columbus Charter and American Legion Post 154 Marathon Color Guard. And remain standing for the National Anthem and Invocation. Thank you.
Color guard, halt. Prepare to raise the colors. Scout salute. Color guard, raise the colors.
We will now have our vocalist, Wilhelmina Lopez Martin, a born and raised conch and youngest child of a veteran who served in Korea and World War II, sing our national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we held at the twilight last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight. Oh, the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the Rockies break clear, the bombs bursting in air gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner o'er the land of the
Come to order arms.
Color guard, reform, rank.
Peter, about, hey. Forward.
About face. Color guard, forward march.
Thank you, Herb Bradshaw and Troop 578. Job well done. Thank you also, Wilhelmina, and we appreciate your family's patriotism. At this time, we will have our invocation by American Legion Post 28 Chaplain Don Conaway and VFW Post 3911 Chaplain Tim Tribo.
Please uncover. Our Heavenly Father, we thank you for this beautiful day you have given us for the dedication of this memorial. It is with humble hearts that we come together this day to remember when the bravery and courage of those who were there that became the bulk of our defense against tyranny and aggression. For those of us here today who enjoy the freedoms they preserved for us, we ask your blessing for all who have given their lives in defense of our great country, and of course bless the family of all who endured. Help us to consecrate our lives to maintain the liberties they fought and died for. In your name, O Lord, we pray. God bless you, and God bless America.
Good morning. Welcome home, vets. A prayer for our veterans. O God, our Heavenly Father, you have blessed us with brave men and women who are willing to defend our freedom. May your protection and grace surround them each day. Let your healing hand be upon those who suffer wounds and injuries. May those who have made the ultimate sacrifice rest forever in your holy presence. Comfort the families who mourn and are left to remember the precious lives of the loved ones. Help us to honor and support them. Let us even be mindful for each sacrifice made on behalf of the American people by our sons, daughters, husbands, wives, mothers, fathers, and friends. Amen. And I wish everybody say God bless America on three. 1, 2, 3. God bless America. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Don and Tim. Please be seated. Everybody take a deep breath.
There's a seat here. I'll
It's
sit
been a
back
long
here.
2 years.
I'll sit back here.
I'd like to do some introductions and recognition real quick. And if I missed anybody inadvertently, my apologies, but we love you. Thank you for coming. My name is Jerry Hughes. I'm a Vietnam vet, and it is my distinct honor to serve as your master of ceremony for today's program. I would like to start with introductions, recognition of guests, and a few thank yous. The Vietnam Living Memorial Committee consists of 6 individuals who have been working earnestly with their head, their hands, and their heart the past 2 years. I ask that, as I call your name, you each please remain standing. Founder Billy Williams, U.S. Army, 5th Battalion, 4th Artillery, 1968 to 69. Founder Henry Fuller, U.S. Army, 4th Division, 4th Aviation, 1968 to 69. Scott Cates, who could not be with us this morning. His wife is in the hospital. U.S. Army, 2nd the 1st Armored Cav, 1968 to 69. Ernie Vargas, U.S. Air Force, 362nd Tactical Electronic Warfare Squadron, 1967-68. Freddie Varela, proud conch and patriotic citizen. Thank you, Freddie. And myself, Jerry Hughes, I served with the U.S. Army, 2nd the 1st Infantry, 196th Light Infantry Brigade, Americal Division, 1969-1970. Those are your committee of 6. Thank you, folks. Take a seat. We'd also like to recognize our advisor to our committee, Bert Bender of Bender and Associates, whose brother Sam served in Vietnam. Where are you, Bert? Thank you. And a quick grateful appreciation to Betty Williams and Denise Bravo. From our city of Key West, don't have to stand. I just wanted to recognize the committee per se, but we have, of course, our mayor, Craig Cates, and his lovely wife, Cheryl. District 1 Commissioner Jimmy Weekly. District 2, Sam Kaufman. District 3, Billy Wardlow. District 4, Richard Payne. District 5, Margaret Romero. And District 6, Clayton Lopez. I'm sure they're here. I haven't seen them, but I'm sure they're here. Former commissioners who were very involved in the production of this memorial. Terry Johnston, District 5. Mark Rossi, District 2. And Tony Yanez, District 4. Also, our city manager is here, Jim Scholl. And I'd like to recognize also from the city our site project manager who spent a lot of time out here representing the city to make sure everything ran smoothly, Creed Lowell. So thank you, Creed. NAS Commander Captain Steve McInerney is here. Major Josh Eaton from the Dive Center. Josh tried to get here? I'm sure he's on his way. Naval Air Station Key West Command Sergeant Major Mark McDonald. Representing Jayadov, Command Master Chief, I'm sorry, not Sergeant Major. That's an Army term, isn't it? Command Master Chief. It's like Sergeant Major of the Army for the layman here. Sean Merchendick. U.S. Navy Master Chief James King. VFW Post 3911 Commander Rod Delestrinas, American Legion Post Commander Dan Dodaro, and thank you both VFW and Legion for your generous contributions to enhance our celebration party that will be this afternoon, and also the hats for our vets, for our Vietnam vets. Monroe County Sheriff Rick Ramsey is here. I'm not sure if Police Chief Donnie Lee is here, but he's been a great supporter. Fire Chief David Fragger. Mr. Ed Knight over here to my left. A couple of names you may not recognize, but have been a big part in what's been going on in the last week or so. Glenn Hoover and Clarice Yench from the Waypoint Foundation. They're the group that put these gorgeous Vietnam photos on the window of Womankind, and they also did a display at the Custom House. So it is called Innocent Souls Vietnam 1968. So make sure you get over and take a look at that. It was perfect timing for today's dedication. From Picture This on Granite, the lovely folks who brought us these black granite panels and the pedestal panels. Bonnie Goodsell and Kathy Sheldon drove all the way down from up Vermont Way to be here today, and we'd just like to say thank you for all their fine work. Phil Goodman, President of the Military Affairs. Preston Goodman, President of the Navy League. I saw John Dick here from the school board, Ed Davison, and I understand also Ron Martin. All three of those fellows who are on our school board for Monroe County are in-country Vietnam vets, so a round of applause for them. I'd also like to recognize Second Lieutenant Dot Trong Hong, who served with the 126 ARVN Army in Quang Tri from 1972 to 1975. Second Lieutenant Hong, or could you stand up and let everybody say hello to you? He's in the back over here. He actually has a brick here in front of our wall, and his daughter Winter, they moved to Key West, and we welcome them, obviously. Some quick thank yous. Now I could be up here forever, but I'll do the best I can on a short list. Monroe County Tourist Development Council, one of the lead players on getting this memorial park developed. City of Key West, thank you. Bert Bender and Associates, particular particularly Albie Bayview, who is Bert's assistant. Bert donated all of the work on this project pro bono, and in English that means for free. So think about that. Also, Keith Oropesa from Little John Engineering Associates. He was our site landscape design, also donated all of his time and work with his firm pro bono. Edward B. Knight, who got us the Forgotten Soldier statue, the Battle Cross, and the 12 pedestals. Charlie DePino and Sons. Think about this. As far as the eye can see, you can see concrete. Charlie DePino and Sons donated all of this concrete to this memorial. Whitney Singh and Ann Johnston, his wife Ann Johnston, they were one of our initial large donors who got us going, and so we thank them for their patriotism. All City of Key West employees and departments who worked at whatever level on this project, from city manager office to grant writing to funding to engineering to community services, utilities, maintenance departments, particularly project manager, as I mentioned a little earlier, Creed Lowell, and community services Chief Rod Delestrinos. Thank you all. To D.L. Porter Constructing Company for their fine detail and on-time work. To our many vendors and subcontractors, specifically Bella Construction. Picture this on granite. Stan Watts, Stan Subic, Craig Gray, Stone Carver, Steve Condello, who brought this monster crane out here, and again, pro bono, did not charge us to use that crane for 2 days, okay? David Hahn from Burke Construction and David Ratcliffe from Ratcliffe Welding. When you come into the park, you're going to see 8 perimeter benches around the outside, and just a little quick information on those benches. They're from Glen Archer School, now Glen Archer City Hall, and the I-beams were supporting the first building, and those are the foundations of those benches, and it's Dade County pine wood that was on the floor in one of the other buildings. So again, all that work was donated pro bono. I love this one for all you grunts out there, but for all you military vets, on those benches you're going to see these little nameplates, and it says on that nameplate, "Heroes don't wear capes, they wear dog tags." Very nice. A special thanks to Randy Acevedo, who was our webmaster and had to put up with this committee of 6 cats to, get our data out. Also, Kenny Wardlow, CPA, for establishing our nonprofit. Thank you to all our local Florida Keys media, both radio stations and newspapers, for keeping the public well informed the past 2 years on this worthy project. We would also like to thank Giancarlo Espinosa Video Enterprises, who is videoing the entire ceremony, and which will eventually go on YouTube for the entire country to see. There are far too many local businesses, veteran and military organizations, clubs, etc., and individual donors to individually list, so please see the back cover of your program and the bronze donor recognition plaques. We thank them graciously, for without you all, the memorial would not exist. Coincidentally, any and all donation money left over will go to an ongoing maintenance fund to maintain the memorial upkeep ad infinitum. Also, thank you everyone who purchased a brick, and know that it's not too late if you would like to still recognize someone. We'd also like to thank the citizens of Key West for all their support and for allowing us to use and create this Veterans Memorial Garden within Bayview Park. Lastly, we thank our Vietnam veterans who served, and also their families, who all served in the military. All vets, whatever tour, whatever years, or whatever war it was, we honor your courage, sacrifice, and devotion to duty and country. Thank you all. With pleasure, I introduce our first speaker, our own patriotic mayor, Craig Cates, one of the main leaders on getting this memorial established. Mayor Cates.
Thank you, Jerry. I'm here sweating, soaking wet, and Jerry must be his military trained, don't even have a drop of sweat on him. How do you do that? I don't know. Good morning, friends, distinguished guests, servicemen, women, and veterans of the United States of America. It is with great honor that I welcome you here today. I'm proud to be here to recognize and honor all our veterans who have served this great country. Thank you to those veterans that are here today and those that are here in spirit. You are America's real-life heroes. Thank you sincerely for putting our freedoms, our rights, and our liberties first by serving and protecting this great country. We honor all our veterans with the dedication of our new Veterans Memorial Gardens and a special tribute to our Vietnam veterans with the Vietnam Living Memorial. These are our heroes that did not get true thank you and welcome home they deserved. Today, your hometown and community is doing just that. It's another proud day for the city of Key West, and I'm honored to be your mayor. And I'm so thankful to be here to witness this great accomplishment. Thank you to the Vietnam Memorial Committee for their vision, perseverance, and dedication to this project. And thank you to everyone Jerry Hughes previously mentioned, that long list, because without all of you, this day would not be possible. This memorial will forever stand as a marker in our community. It will serve as a remembrance for the sacrifices made by brave men and women over many years. It is now a proud, beautiful part of our Key West history, a peaceful place, a great symbol of honor for all who have lived here and all who will visit. This morning, I'd like to ask that each and every one of you take the time to thank a veteran, not just today, but every day, because the things our veterans fought for give us life, liberty, freedom, and long after their service is over. We enjoy these blessings every single day, but we tend to only thank them on Veterans Day. I'm sure many of you have heard the quote, "Land of the free because of the brave." True words have never been spoken. It is because our brave veterans and those currently serving in our military that we have our freedom, that we are safe, and that we can experience what it means to be an American. Thank you again to all of you who have served and continue to serve this great country. Thank you to the Vietnam Memorial Committee. Thank you to everyone that made this possible. And God bless you all. God bless America.
The next segment in our program, Mr. Knight has asked that I say a few words on his behalf. A World War II Navy pilot who served in the Pacific and surrounding islands from 1943 to 1947. I think we all know Mr. Knight in this city. He has graciously donated 3 key elements to our new memorial park. Their centerpiece battle cross, which will be uncovered here shortly and will remember all of our fallen brothers from Key West. It's also known as the Fallen Soldier Statue. The 12 pedestals behind me, which will educate our future youth on American sacrifices throughout all our past wars and conflicts, and then the Forgotten Soldier statue, which will be installed at a later date. Mr. Knight told me he loves this city, and the Forgotten Soldier was commissioned by Mr. Knight to honor the black Key West citizens who served with the Union Army during the Civil War. This gift to the citizens of Key West honors those forgotten black Union soldiers who served in the Civil War. Many of these men returned to Key West, raised families here, and those generations that followed became an important part of our rich island heritage. Thank you, Mr. Knight, from all of us, and for your continued thoughtfulness and generosity. Okay. At this time, I'd like to introduce our keynote speaker. Master Chief Petty Officer, U.S. Navy retired James F. King. Master Chief King retired in 1984 with 31 years of military service. He served both during the Korean and Vietnam Wars and had 2 tours in Vietnam, 1967 to 68, and also in 1969. A former Seabee, he crossed over to the Master of Arms rating in 1974 and holds a Master's of Administration of Justice and Master's in Human Resource Management. Master Chief King is a recipient of the Navy and Marine Corps Medal for Heroism in Vietnam, the Combat Action Ribbon, the Vietnam Service and Campaign Medals with 4 Bronze Stars, the Navy Achievement Medal, and wears the Fleet Marine Force Combat Operations insignia. The well-known stalwart at our local VFW Post 39 Americanism Committee and the American Legion Post 28 Flags and History Project, we welcome him today as our keynote speaker. Ladies and gentlemen, Master Chief James King.
Hoorah! Jerry asked me if I wanted to do this, and I said, yeah, he gave me my assignment, and a few days later he checked up on me, and I said, yeah, but can I have a break halfway in between? He says, what break? What do you need a break for 8 minutes for? He said, oh, I thought you said 80 minutes. Anyways, I have had a lifetime of service with the United States Navy. I've done many things. I've been awarded many awards and a lot of thank yous. None compared to this. There can only be one pinnacle in a career. There can be a lot of close seconds, but this is it. And I want to thank everybody who has ever helped me to get to this point. But this is the high point of my life, the high point of my career, and I want to thank everybody. To the Vietnam vets, I want to say welcome home. It's a long time in coming. This day was originally the Armistice Day. It was to celebrate the 11th day of the 11th month, the 11th hour of the 11th day of the 11th month for the end of the First World War. That was the war to end all world wars. And it was not called the First World War, it was just called the World War. It wasn't the First World War till we had the Second World War. That was the war to end all wars because of the diabolical weapons, the submarine, poison gas, the tank, assaults against fixed positions with machine guns, day after day after day, till thousands and thousands of men were left lying on the wire between the trenches. 1919, on the 11th of November, President Wilson designated the day as Armistice Day. In 1954, and Armistice Day was to celebrate the heroes of the First World War, all those who had died. 1954, it was changed to Memorial Day. That's the day, to Veterans Day. That's the day that we have today, when all veterans are honored. Now, 90% of the veterans are people who served briefly and then went home. There's only 10% of people that live like me that thought it was good enough to stick around. 90% of the veterans were citizen soldiers. They interrupted their life to come and serve. It was my life. It's Captain McInerney's life. It's Master Chief McDonald's life. It was Jim Scholl's life. It did not disturb our life. It was our life. So I want to particularly thank those who interrupted their life and came and served their country. I came in the Navy. I hope somebody's timing me, because Jerry, when it's time, just come grab me with the hook. I graduated high school in 1950. In my yearbook, it says, "What do you want to do?" I said, U.S. Navy. That was 65 years ago. You hear people saying they live in the dream. I am living the dream. For 65 years, I've had a Navy ID card in my pocket, and I've been a Chief Petty Officer for 50 years. Now, since I put that in my yearbook 65 years ago, I would say that is living the dream. My father was an underage seaman of World War I, overage chief of World War II. When I joined the Navy, he said, there's nothing profound. Go where they send you, do what they tell you, stay out of trouble, and don't dishonor my name. The word honor, we have it all the time. And what we all strive for is an honorable discharge. If I had anything other than a discharge under honorable conditions, I could never go home. I would be shot. Honor, courage, and commitment. Those are the Navy and the Marine Corps, the core values. What is honor? Every veteran, whether active duty, retired, National Guard, or reserve, at one point in time in his life, signed a blank check made out to the United States government for an amount up to and including his life. That is honor. And too few people in this country today recognize that. What is courage? What is courage? Courage is the willingness to get up someday and honor that commitment. What was the commitment? There was the commitment to willingly, without duress, under terrible conditions, dangerous conditions, honor your commitment. What was the commitment? To go where they send you, do what they tell you, stay out of trouble, and don't dishonor the name. Maybe my father had something way back then when he said that to me. The 6th of May, 1962, General Douglas MacArthur addressed the Corps of Cadets at West Point. His topic was duty, honor, and country. And what he said, it was a 34-minute speech. I took one paragraph. He said, those words will dictate who you are, what you can be, and what you will be. They are the rallying points to build courage when courage seems to fail. To regain faith when faith is no more. To create hope when hope is forlorn. Unfortunately, I have neither the eloquence of diction, the poetry of imagination, or the brilliance of metaphor to tell you what else it means. But I can tell you, many of those people that were at that speech that day when Douglas MacArthur addressed the Corps of Cadets in 1962, their names are on this wall because they were the platoon leaders and the company commanders that were very expendable in the Vietnam War. They probably didn't know it at the time. They're examples of American exceptionalism. And I think I'm probably going to go over my time. So with that, I'm going to thank you very, very much for listening, and I'm going to thank everyone who was ever contributed anything that got me to this point. It took me 65 years to get here, but I'm finally here. Thank you, Jerry Hughes, and thank you.
Thank you, Master Chief King, for your service and your inspiring remarks. Okay, at this time we're going to do the formal dedication of the memorial. It is my pleasure to introduce you to our two founders, Billy Williams and Henry Fuller, who initiated the idea for this memorial, and joining them is our lead architect and designer, Bert Bender. Believe me, citizens of Key West and Monroe County, without these three men, this memorial would not have been created. They will now formally dedicate and unveil the living memorial. And I'm going to also ask Keith Oropesa to come up, who was our lead landscape manager. So all four, please come up at this time.
Yeah.
A lot of people here today. First of all, I don't want no recognition for me being part of this thing. I think I did this for everybody. My reward for doing this will be when everybody walks through here and they come to me and they say, Billy, beautiful job y'all did. That makes my heart feel good. And I know what we did would be right. I know all of us had an attitude when we came back from Vietnam because of the way we were treated. People told us when we first started this project that it wouldn't be done. They said the people don't really care about you because you was in Vietnam. We didn't talk about it much. But if you look around this park today, and I see all these people's faces here and all these people that are here today, you do care. And I hope every one of these guys, and I hope every one of you Vietnam vets will be able to walk with us in the parade tonight. And all I can say is I want us to lift our head up. We have nothing to be ashamed of. We did what we had to do. We fought for our country. And God bless America.
I want to first go out and thank everybody. Shake your hand. No, just a joke. They say start off with a joke, break it down. That's a joke. Yeah. Anyway, thank you, God. It's been a long 2 years. A lot of prayers have been involved in this. Welcome, everyone, and thank you for coming out today. And no jets flying over me. Last time, that was a big joke for about a year. Anyway, I was born and raised in Key West, right across the street at 1402 Virginia Street. I served in Vietnam in '68 as a door gunner crew chief for the 4th Division, 4th Aviation. At this moment, I want to give attention to the memorial that's to the left of me. Those are the men, the brave young men from Key West that gave their all, killed in action in Vietnam. The Vietnam Living Memorial to the right are the brave men from Key West that served their country with honor, valor, and pride. That's why this project was so important for us to accomplish. It's a welcome home we never received. It truly will be a place for healing for both the Vietnam vet as well as our nation. Closure is needed. Thanks to all. Without all of you, this could never, ever have been done or accomplished. Thank you from the bottom of my heart. Thanks to the VLM committee. I couldn't have picked a better group of individuals to get this done, and we did it. Thank you, Key West, and thank you to our great nation, United States of America. I'm a proud combat veteran then and now. Welcome home, everybody, and thank you.
I'm back. I just want to give thanks, and we want to present these 2 bricks that we have for Bendo. And because without this man here on the right, like I said, it couldn't have been done. 2 years ago, we didn't know where to go, who to see, or whatever, but we went to his office. And when we walked in there, not only did he open up his office, he opened up his heart. This man's got more compassion for all Vietnam vets, or all veterans, than I've ever seen in my life. And without him, this is not possible. So we'd like to give you this brick, Bert. Go ahead.
What I like to say about Bert is when we approached them, we were thinking about something, in that area and that course and everything. He said, oh no, and this is what he said it was going to be, and this is what it is. Thank you, Bert.
All right, fellas, let's unveil it.
All right. Little coordination there, gang.
Remember, we were kids, we used to jump over this wall.
Battle Cross. Billy, Henry, Ernie, come on up. Freddie, if you're here. All right, thank you, fellas. You all rock. That's in my notes here. All right. Hopefully everybody can hear me. This is a very important part of our ceremony. In this park since 1973, erected by our local Military Affairs Committee, has been the Vietnam Monument to those 36 Key Westers killed in action, located over here to my front left. It is the first memorial to honor Vietnam soldiers in the state of Florida, 1973. Okay? So kudos to Key West. We honor their courage and sacrifice, and the Boys and Girls Club will now read their names. They will not be forgotten.
Corporal Daniel Walter Duffy, United States Marine Corps, killed in action 31st August 1965, age 20.
Marisol Dye.
Private First Class Richard Antonio, recruiter, United States Army, 24th April, 1966, age 19.
Nicola Denisenko.
Corporal James R. Coleman, Jr., United States Marine Corps, killed in action 26 June 1966, age 22.
Heaven Rodriguez.
Lance Corporal Leland Wakefield Arbery, Jr., United States Marine Corps, killed in action 29 June 1966, age 22.
Kayla Gallagher.
Captain Edward Harold Solomon, Jr., United States Army, killed in action 27 July 1966, age 26.
Cassie Melton.
Major Peter Stanley Knight, United States Army, killed in action 25 August 1966, age 31.
Jacob Price.
Specialist for Florentino R. Road, United States Army, killed in action 2 October 1966, age 20.
Pedro Gonzalez.
Specialist for Robert Franklin Milton, Jr., United States Army, killed in action 15 January 1967, age 20.
Christopher Williams.
Private First Class David Richard Daniels, United States Marine Corps, killed in action 1st March 1967, age 18.
Ronnie De Leon.
Private First Class James Raymond Morgan, United States Marine Corps, killed in action 31st March 1967, age 22.
Leilani Hyde.
Corporal Henry Lake Gamble, United States Army, killed in action 7th April 1967, age 22.
Shania Shazer.
Specialist 4, Luther M. Jones, United States America, killed in action. United States Army, killed in action 2 July 1967, age 24.
Charles Shazer.
Staff Sergeant Reese Descota, United States Army, killed in action 18 August 1967, age 37.
J.C.
Specialist 4, Otis Herman Montier, United States Army, killed in action 9 October 1967, age 21.
Brianna Clemente.
Warrant Officer Howard D. Anderson, United States Army, killed in action 27 December 1967, age 20.
Umberto Delgado.
Private First Class William Carrollborn Jr., United States Marine Corps, killed in action 4 February 1968, age 18.
Zaria Parks. And yes, she can read.
First United Jeffrey Wallace Green, United States Army, killed in action 20 February 1968, age 24.
Gabriel Hatter.
First Lieutenant Jan Dean Duxie, United States Army, killed in action 22 February 1968, age 20.
Aliashka Mena Farrell.
Specialist 5, Terry Lee Baxter, United States Army, killed in action 4 April 1968, age 21.
Mario Cervantes.
Private First Class Thomas Francis Campbell, United States Marine Corps, killed in action 9 April 1968, age 19.
Aaron Saunier.
Captain Tillman Richard McLemore, United States Army, killed in action 6 May 1968, age 27.
J. Twan King.
First Lieutenant Joe Raymond Hines, United States Army, killed in action May 22nd, 1968, age 21.
Caesar Rangel.
Captain Sergeant J. Brashier, United States Army, killed in action 22 September 1968, age 25.
Gentorius Roberts.
Private First Class Walter Jackson Carroll, United States Army, killed in action 28 October 1968, age 21.
Zenorius Gardner, and he too can really read. He read a whole book the other day.
Captain Robert Carroll Fox, United States Army, killed in action 5 December 1968, age 29.
And he said to me while we were practicing, don't say anything, Miss Sue, don't say anything. I can do this. And he did, yes. Don't say coca.
Sergeant Richard Michael Hill, United States Army, killed in action 13 February 1969, age 20.
Evelina Zalit.
Technical Sergeant Kermit Bruce Roberts, United States Air Force, killed in action 18 May 1969, age 33.
Maria Meritito.
Sergeant Matt J. Denard, Jr., United States Army, killed in action 18 September 1969, age 21.
Casey Rangel.
Lieutenant J.G. Kenneth D. Norton, United States Navy, killed in action 7 October 1969, age 25.
Isaiah Ratliff.
First Lieutenant Oliver Coleman, Jr., United States Army, killed in action 1st November 1969, age 26.
Shiloh.
Robert Brian Hancock, United States Marine Corps, killed in action 12 November 1969, age 19.
These are the kids that came down from Big Pines that helped do this too. First from our program in Big
First Lieutenant Leslie Eugene Renford, United States Army, killed in action 27 March 1970, age 25.
Michael Walker.
First Class Mauricio A. Fonseca Vargas, United States Army, killed in action on the 12th of May, 1970, and his age was 20.
Megan Ulrich.
Private First Class Peter Joseph with the United States Marine Corps, killed in action 23rd May 1970, age 19.
Jonathan Estes.
Sergeant Thomas Lanpool, United States Army, killed in action 23rd June 1970, age 20.
Katerina Cassidy.
Captain 6 Charles Lancaster Pudum, United States Navy, missing in action 9 March 1967, declared killed in action 7th of November 1977, age 49.
And that is the last name, and the kids feel very honored to be able to do this. Thank you.
Thank you, Dan Dombrowski, Cece Williams, and Susan Kent, for all you do for the youth of our fair city. Thank you also, Boys and Girls Club. And thank you, Key West Fire Department medic Riley Barber, our bell ringer, also a former U.S. Army Sergeant Afghanistan vet with the 101st Airborne. Thank you, Riley. At this time, please rise for the rendering of military honors by Naval Air Station, Key West Navy Honor Guard, and remain standing for the playing of taps by bugler Alex Orkinzik. Please be seated. Thank you, Petty Officer Brian Miller, for your honor guard tribute, and also thank you, Alex, for taps. Very moving. What a wonderful day. It is the Vietnam Living Memorials Committee wish that this memorial park will serve as a peaceful and harmonic place for one to come and reflect, meditate, contemplate, and yes, educate our student citizens on what happened to our country and each of us back in the 1960s and early 1970s. For sure, the war touched all of us. After personally reading over 1,000 books on the Vietnam War and seeing every Hollywood good and bad movie about the war, and speaking with literally thousands of Vietnam vets the past 45 years, trying to understand what this war was all about, I'd like to tell you where my head is today. I'd like to speak to all our Vietnam vets present today and their families, and relate some personal feelings through a brief story going back 10 years ago to April 30th, 2005, the 30-year anniversary of the fall of Saigon. I had emailed an essay I wrote to all my veteran in-country brothers expressing what I felt about the war and what it did to all of us, both during and afterwards. It was April 2005, so keep in mind we were already heavily into Iraq at the time. One of my oldest buddies from 5th grade, who now lives in Hollywood, California, who was drafted and also went to Vietnam, was still mad at the whole thing. With your permission, I'd like to share our conversation and some food for thought for each of you today. All I ask is that you apply these feelings in your own personal way. My letter began, Richie, thank you very much for sharing your feelings about the war with me. I think it's healthy to finally talk about it. But I agree with your opening statement and agree to disagree. I love you too much, good buddy, value your friendship above all else, do appreciate your opinions and feelings, and on top of that, I damn well know you are a patriot and love your country. So we're on even ground, okay? From the tone of your note and the words you used, bitter, pissed off, angers, saddens, depresses, etc., I think I kind of get the gist of where Vietnam is in your head. And truthfully, that saddens me. I feel your pain, as they say. Believe me when I say that as for 25 years I was a wild man from Borneo looking for inner peace from what that war did to me. But I must go back to my Fall of Saigon essay and clarify a few things. I did not say it was the highlight of my life. I said it was the highlight of our young lives, back when we were ages 18 to 24 youngins. The highlight of my life are my 2 sons and now 3 granddaughters, or perhaps the hundreds of good things I did for my family, my community, my fellow veterans, and society in general the past 35 years, or the way I conducted myself professionally in my chosen career as a corporate employee benefit consultant. But for sure, overall, it was not the war. But here's the crux of the matter. Take the universe as a whole. Some other poor soul is born in a jungle hooch in Vietnam, or some desert tent or mud hut in Iraq or Afghanistan, while you were born in the comfort of a United States hospital and all the freedoms that entitles you to. Why? Because of the luck of the draw in the universe, does he or she have to live a life in poverty, class slavery, poor health, no rights, yada yada, while you go to St. Bartholomew's Grammar School, Holy Trinity High School, or Xavier College, or guide movie stars to their comfortable seats? Are you or I so special that some God decided you get the good life, and Nguyen, young Omar, or Kunta Kinte lives a life in chains? Here's what I think the universe decided. That you and I go, and if necessary, give the ultimate sacrifice, death, to free him from his bondage. I don't care if one calls the ideology fascism, communism, radical religious movement, slavery, or whatever name they give it. It's only a name with alphabet letters in it. Many years ago, Richie, you taught me that I couldn't hate someone until I at least met them and gave them a chance to hear their side of the story. Back in the 1950s and 60s, the potential of a communist domino theory was also a real threat. First, Vietnam might fall, then Laos, Cambodia, Thailand, India, and so on, or even China getting into the swing of things. But rather than practice containment, we exercised forceful intervention. Our country called. That's why we went over. But communism and the Berlin Wall did eventually fall, thanks in part to our effort in Vietnam. Old business at this point. And yes, America has figured out not to confuse the soldier with the war. The Vietnam Memorial, since its 1982 inception, has been the second most popular memorial in Washington, D.C., behind the Lincoln Memorial. Thanks to our efforts, the Korean and World War II vet now has a memorial. We broke ground there in more ways than one. We are not second-class citizens anymore. That's 1970s talk. And our active military folks are most thankful for making today's military stronger, more prepared, and appreciated. I'll end this epistola, good buddy, with a quick Key West personal story. For some reason, Memorial Day weekend always makes me emotional. I always seem to think of our classmate and fellow high school basketball forward, Gene Hendricks, who fell from the sky one October 1968 day. And of course the guys from my infantry platoon that were killed. Veterans Day, piece of cake. But Memorial Day, many tears and melancholy. So this past Friday night of Memorial Day weekend, I go to my favorite karaoke bar, Two Friends Patio Restaurant. And sitting in my seat at the bar is this Asian gal. Small talk at first. I ask, where are you from? San Francisco. Are you Chinese? No. Japanese? No. Korean? No. I'm thinking, what's left? Vietnamese? Yes. Born in Vietnam, 1969, the year you and I were there. Now 35 years old. Left on a boat at the fall of Saigon. Grew up in America. Went to the University of Virginia. Now has a good job in computers in Silicon Valley. Living the good life, just like we hope our own children, grandchildren, siblings, nephews, and nieces do. And again, I knew the universe really isn't all that big a place. That someone had sent her to my bar stool in the southernmost city of the United States of America at that infinite moment to remind me that I had done good. That my basketball teammate and buddy Gene and the fellows killed or wounded in my platoon had done good. That it was the right and honorable thing. And that regardless of the baggage that war created for all of us, that you done good too, Richie. And to my last day, I will always believe and remember that. Brothers forever, Jerry. Thank you, everyone, for serving your country. Please stand for a closing benediction by Minister Glenwood Lopez of Trinity Presbyterian Church.
I also just would like to mention the fact that it was the 3rd of September 2015. That day I'll always remember. That was the day that my brother died, and his name appears on the wall today as a Vietnam veteran. Also, I would just like to mention to those that have gone to Vietnam that last year, March 2014, I had the opportunity to revisit Hanoi, Saigon, Thailand as well. So I got a chance to see it then, see it now. Let us pray. May God be gracious to us and bless us, and may his face shine on us, so that your ways may be known on earth, your salvation among all nations. May the peoples praise you, God. May all the peoples praise you. May the nations be glad and sing for joy, for you rule the peoples with equity and guide the nations of the earth. May the peoples praise you, God. May all the peoples praise you. The land yields its harvest. God, our God, blesses us. May God bless us still. Amen. Amen. I also want just one last thing to mention, that I am also the commander of William Weech American Legion Post 168 here in Key West. Thank you.
Thank you, Minister Lopez, for your blessing. We will now have our, in fact, take a seat just for a moment, folks. We will now have our final song sung by Wilhelmina Lopez Martin and Clayton Lopez, but Clayton has a few words first to say on the Montford Point World War II Marines and the Key West connection. And then, if you would, please stand after Clayton's remarks for God Bless America. Thank you.
On this day that we celebrate those who have served, continue to serve, and to the memories of those who gave all in the service of our country, specifically dedicating this beautiful living memorial to our fathers, brothers, sisters, and sons, I salute all of you and offer yet another piece of our history that should be remembered on this occasion, which follows the 240th birthday of the military branch that was started as a way to support naval forces, but eventually became its own branch of America's armed forces, the United States Marine Corps. Hoorah! Hoorah! 8 men from the city of Key West were among the 20,000 original African Americans to serve in the United States Marines. Many of them, either through community service or, as in one case, law enforcement as the first African American to head the Monroe County Sheriff's Office Detective Division, continued to make history, a legacy for themselves and reaching legendary status and an example for the rest of us who followed. The legacy was carried out by five of these men whose sons' names are also on the wall we have unveiled today, because they too served in Vietnam. Those 8 men are Charles Manuel, George Carey, Charles Bookie Allen Sr., Clarence Fly Alls Sr., James Hall, Nathan Joker Tynes, William Boss Johnson Sr., Shadrach Candyman Hannibal Jr. You can tell that they're conks because 5 of the 8 have familiar nicknames. On the next City Commission agenda, I'm going to ask the mayor and the commission to join me in presenting a proclamation to the families that remain. And I will ask on the following of the first agenda in December, I will ask that we actually acknowledge the contribution of these men by expansion, by making that the first piece of expansion of this memorial in memoriam to those men who have served as the first African American Marine unit. Now that we in the city of Key West are striving in such beautiful, wondrous ways to correct oversights in paying homage, this is the right time to do this. God bless America, land that I love. Stand beside her and guide her through the night with the light from above. From the mountains to the prairie, to the ocean, white with foam. God bless America, my home, sweet home.
Oh, beautiful for spacious skies forever, waves of grain, for purple mountains' majesty, above the fruited plains, America,
Please be seated. Thank you, Wilhelmina and Clayton. And the choppers are going to be here to pick you all up in a moment here. So I know in the Army was hurry up and wait. So we are... Thank you, everyone.